Okay, I'm hoping this will work. If you guys could see me right now, I'm sitting under a blanket, the microphone is with me. I'm trying to make it so that it's not echoey because I'm in my new office and there's just not a lot of furniture going on in here right now. I have my desk and we bought this new bench and a carpet, and so therefore it sounded really echoey. So here's attempt number 2. I'm going to try not to shuffle things around, but if you're not familiar with my channel, this is kind of a weird intro and I apologize. My name's Jessie, by the way, nice to meet you. Today I just wanted to do a fun drawing. So I'm drawing my pets as Animal Crossing characters because they're animals and it just makes sense. I was going to do myself. I was going to draw myself as an Animal Crossing character because I thought that sounded fun. And then I was like, ooh, I can draw my husband too. And then I was like, oh, and then I can draw my pets. And then I was like, you know what? I think that everybody would just want to see my pets more than anything. So I kind of still want to draw me though, honestly. So I might still do that. But I just knew if I didn't draw my pets, I knew that everyone would be leaving comments asking for me to draw Luna because I already get those comments anyways. She's kind of popular. If you guys have been following my journey, you would know that I am trying to learn how to do watercolors and I've been having some ups and downs. I would say as far as the watercolor portion of this was not very impressive. I don't think I did a great job, but that is why there is the magic that is Photoshop. It's called mixed media, you dig? I feel like I'm talking in a whisper because it's like you're hiding under a blanket and you just, for some reason when you hide under a blanket, I just feel like you're supposed to talk quietly. I'm like literally sitting by myself in my house. Anyways, the paper that I have is like super cheap. So I got it at Michael's. I think it was the cheapest watercolor paper they may have sold in that size. It looks like it's cold press. It's 80 pound, which kind of surprises me because it does not feel 80 pound to me. It feels much thinner. And the reason why I'm using it is because I did the sketch in Photoshop and the other watercolor paper I have is much too thick. So I can't put it through my printer. I'd like to buy a new watercolor paper that's a little better quality. Maybe I'll spend a few extra pennies with my hashtag starving artist life. And I'd like to find one that my printer could support and is thick enough to layer more, because one of the things that I have trouble with, it seems, is getting really rich, vibrant colors. And I'm sure that this is like a common problem with watercolor. I didn't seem to have as much trouble with this in my house on the hill picture that you may have seen me do before. And maybe that's because the paper I was using was so much thicker and I could just really lay down the paint. But this one was a little trickier because you couldn't really lay down a lot of paint without it pooling up and starting to get weird. My example for this is for Luna's dress. So for Luna, I wanted to make her dress look sort of like her dog collar, and I'll insert a picture of her dog collar. It's just from Target. I couldn't get that really dark bluish purple base color, no matter how many layers I would put down. And I didn't want to lay down like super like painty layers because, I don't know, I guess I should have just laid down more paint, but in hindsight, I should have just tried laying down more paint. But I was just nervous, I guess, so I just wanted to take it slow. It just kind of didn't work out. Thank God for Photoshop. I ended up taking this, I scanned it into Photoshop, and that's where I added the background because I didn't want to ruin it by trying to add the background with watercolor. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it because I knew I was going to take it into Photoshop anyways. And I really feel like that's where it started improving immensely, and maybe you'll agree. But overall, when I'm done with everything, I was pretty happy with it actually. Not the watercolor portion, but overall I'm pretty okay with how everything else turned out. Side note, if you're wondering what Jack's shirt says, so Jack, if you guys don't know Jack, he's my cat, and Jack is very busy with cat stuff. He's always doing his cat stuff. So he is very affectionate in the sense that he wants to be near you, but he doesn't necessarily want to cuddle with you. He doesn't want to be pet necessarily. He doesn't really like being picked up. You can hold him for maybe like 10 seconds and then he's like, okay, that's enough. So he'll come up to you and he's like, hi. And then you're like, oh, hey. So you'll give him a little pet and he's like, oh, thanks. And then you give him another one. He's like, no, thank you. And then you pet him 3 times and he just walks away. And it's like every single time he acts like he likes the first 2. And then the third one, he doesn't act like he doesn't like it. It's like he's hit his quota, like 3 pets. 3 pets. His shirt says 1 pet, 2 pet, 3-pet bye, because I feel like that sums up Jack. There's definitely some footage that's kind of missing in this too, and I just sort of jumped over a couple of things that I thought weren't super important, because I don't necessarily want to make this like the fastest speed paint that like blows by, because this took me a long time. So I wrote down at the end, I said it took me 4 hours, but honestly it was probably more like 5, because I sat painting this, the watercolor portion, probably from like 9:30 a.m. until maybe like 1 p.m. and then I hadn't even taken it into Photoshop then yet, so it definitely took me longer than 4 hours, I think. Can I talk about next week a little bit? I'm looking to do maybe something that's quicker, like a easy type of video. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas for something that you think would be like a quick and easy thing to film that doesn't involve a lot, because Justin and I have got a college friend that's going to be visiting us, and she's going to be staying with us for about a week, and she's coming in on Wednesday, so I need to have pretty much my video done before then, because I feel like it'd be super awkward to do like a voiceover and everything with her sitting in the room. I don't know. I'd rather just not. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. But thanks so much for watching. If you guys like this video and you like how this turned out, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment below letting me know, have you ever played Animal Crossing? The Sims might be the only other game that I've put in so much time other than Animal Crossing. So I was obsessed. I've heard that there's an app coming out potentially in maybe the 4th quarter. So I don't know any news about that. I've only seen a couple glimpses, but oh yeah, I'm on board with that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.